All right, guys, welcome back to the Vendetta Sports Media YouTube channel. In this video, we will be bringing you a staff prediction and preview of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. I am your host, Garrett Burroughs, joined by Jerry Walker and the Chickster, Alex Chick. Fellas, how are we doing?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Super excited for this World Cup to start. As we were talking a little bit ago, 2 weeks today, we get the first match of Qatar and Ecuador, and I'm just super stoked for the world's biggest sporting event to be back on.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's you know what I mean.
Short and sweet by the Chickster. You gotta love it.
Oh, yeah.
I just like to feel involved. It does my heart good.
So in this video, we are going to be predicting every single group stage game, or not the game. We are going to be previewing each group, predicting the two winners that are coming out of it, and we will be bringing you the full bracket and going through by the bracket round by round until we get to a winner. Sound good, guys?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Our Group A has Ecuador, Netherlands, host city Qatar, host country Qatar, and Senegal. Fellas, who are we thinking coming out of Group A?
I mean, the obvious one to win this whole group has to be the Netherlands. They're by far the most talented team, the deepest team in this group, and they have a little bit of a itch on their back after they failed to qualify 4 years ago for the World Cup in Russia. And now they have a solid team all around. Injuries are going to be a little interesting to see as their forward Memphis Depay and one of their midfielders, Frankie de Jong, were hurt. I know de Jong's come back. I'm not certain if Depay is back playing yet for Barcelona, but if those two are healthy, it should be a cakewalk either way for the Netherlands.
Absolutely what he said.
I would agree with that as well. And so we are now selecting the runner-up. I think it's pretty easy to assume that Qatar is not going to be the second team coming out of the stage. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's very fair. They're just not good enough. They're really only in this World Cup, their first ever as a country, because they're the
hosts.
And
how do they even get the host? That's what I'm saying.
Because at that point, it was when FIFA was corrupt, so
Yep.
or more corrupt. But
because I was like, there's no way. Like of all the countries in the world, it's like Qatar. That's what it is. We're going with Qatar.
They were named the host in 2010 when the World Cup was in South Africa, and that's when they did the voting, and that's how they got it then.
Ew, that's nasty.
No, I agree. As a side bet to throw out to you guys, how many goals do we think that they score in the group stage? Do they score any? Do they score two or under? What are we thinking?
I was going to go probably two. They might get it.
I was thinking two. The over-under has got to be three.
Yeah, they'll probably get one against Ecuador, and I could see them just sneaking one against the Netherlands or Senegal, because I feel like they'll play a lesser-known team and play some of their backups just as I experience and get them working in the World Cup.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So when it comes to the runner-up in this group stage, are we thinking Ecuador or Senegal? Alex, I'm going to throw it to you first.
I'm going with Senegal. And this is my reasoning, okay? And it sounds stupid and it sounds crazy, but this is just me being common sense, okay? Qatar and Ecuador they're small countries, and they're not going to be able to produce the amount of athletes as like Senegal is a little bit bigger than they can, Netherlands a little bit bigger, but like, these guys aren't, soccer-based teams. Like Senegal is like the obvious choice. This is just me thinking without the soccer knowledge as Jerry Walker might have. Like I'm just thinking, okay. I'm thinking Senegal. I think Senegal will be the runner-up in this group. And I don't think that's crazy to say. You know what I mean? I just know everything around here.
Jerry?
No, that's not a crazy pick at all. I'm going with you with that. I think Senegal get through. They were the African Cup of Nations champions in 2021. It was pushed back to the beginning of this year. They've virtually won every single match. I think they've lost maybe once or twice this calendar year. And Ecuador could give them an issue. I could see that being a draw, but I think Senegal is going to still get through that group as second place.
All right, moving on to Group B. We've got England, Iran, our home country, the United States, and Wales. Alex, I'm going to send it over to you first. Who do you think wins this group and why?
I got to go with England. We all know England's probably the best soccer group out of this out of this group. I mean, they produce athletes all the time. Like this is the no-brainer. I think the U.S. is a very young team. I do think Wales might surprise a lot of people. I know they have a few uh, players out of there that they can play. I think Iran's kind of just not even in this discussion. But I do think England wins. Of course, I'm all about USA. I'm like USA, USA. But like, I think England's gonna win this, no doubt. I think they'll come out easily.
Yeah, you kind of covered it all right there. England is by far the best team in this group. And I mean, I'm repping England. Hopefully they go all the way. Hopefully it's coming home. We'll get to it whether or not I think it will later, but I just don't see too much of an issue. But second place wise, I'll let you guys go first on that and what you think, because I assume, Garrett, you're thinking England wins this group as well.
I am definitely leaning England as well. I mean, it's the firepower on this team. This team is absolutely loaded. They should definitely be one of the favorites, definitely to win this group, and not only to make a long run in this cup as well. I think England is the no-brainer winner here. I don't think it's necessarily a given that the United States comes out of this
Exactly.
group. I mean,
Mhm.
as much as like Alex alluded to, like we want to go like USA, USA. This team is young. They barely squeaked into the World Cup as it was, and this this team just they feels like they need to show up at the big stage. And going from the qualifiers, I have concerns that they might not be able to do so. I personally am going to go to the United States though, just because I think that maybe these young kids they can get it together. They can put up enough points to squeak by just to get knocked out in the next round, but at least they can get through the group stage. That's my thought on it, Jerry.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. I do think Iran is a sneaky team. They lost, I think, only 3 matches in all of qualifying in Asia, and they beat out a good South Korea team to win their group in the third round of the Asian qualifying. But I still think they'll come last. But I also Gareth Bale is the big difference for this Wales team, and when he's playing and when he's in form, which he is as of now, he scored in the MLS Cup final yesterday or on this past Saturday to equalize the game in the 128th minute, send it to penalties, which LAFC won. I think Bale just knows how to play against American players by playing in the MLS. He's just a little too good, and I see Wales getting on. I think in 4 years' time, if this group was happening, US would be competing with England to win the group because, as you've mentioned, they are the youngest team in the World Cup and have a lot of potential for 4 years' time, especially when they're hosting it.
I think how the U.S. approaches the challenge of going against Bale is going to be the difference between them two. I feel like that's what's going to be the difference. I mean, and Wales are going to feed off of Bale. If Bale gets going early, like they're going to feed off of that, and momentum's a powerful thing. And so, how the U.S., a very young U.S., mentally like goes against Wales is probably going to be the difference. Like if they come out flat, Wales is probably going to take it. If U.S. comes out, they come out real strong, set the tone. I think their chances of beating Wales is a lot better.
And the interesting thing is, US versus Wales is both of their first matches. That's the first match that the two plays against each other. So we may know who's getting out of the group second after that first day.
There you go.
Alex, you got to split the tie. Is it Wales or is it the
Oh,
U.S.
it's
moving
USA.
on?
It's USA every day. It's
All
always
right,
USA. It's always USA.
With that.
There's
we're
no,
going
there's
U.S.
No question. Like Wales might come out to be whatever, but and Garrett Bale's really good, but I gotta go USA. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a Raiders fan for God's sake. You know what I mean? I can't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ride or die, man. That's what it is.
All right, so coming out of Group B is England winning, with the United States coming in second. Moving on to Group.
Can
Yes,
I
go
make
ahead.
one more point before we go out of this group?
Yeah.
One team England has never beat, facing them twice in the World Cup in history, the US. Biggest upset arguably in World Cup history, 1950, the US beat England. It was either 1-0 or 2-1. And at that time, the US didn't even have a real professional league, shocking the world. And then in 2010, I believe it was.
Lyndon Donovan.
Nah, same year, different match. But
oh.
no, that was the match later against Algeria that he scored to win the group.
That's right.
That won the group for the US because they drew with England 1-1 after England's goalkeeper Robert Green decided he was going to try and catch the ball, but it let him bounce off his chest, bounced off his foot, and rolled into the back of the net. So there's
God,
one
that
team
guy.
England hasn't done well against in the World Cup, it's the U.S. plus
That's
Germany.
good to
But
know.
It's American Revolution,
If
man.
they can squeak a draw out of Wales, and if they can,
the
crazy things have
draw,
happened.
oh, absolutely, and this is
Crazier
why the
things
World
have
Cup's
happened.
great. We can see anything happen.
Yeah, we're England's daddy. You know what I mean?
All
I'll
right,
be
moving
regretting that
on.
statement. I'll be regretting that statement in a
Moving
few
on
weeks.
to Group C, we've got Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Jerry Walker, who wins this group and why?
I'm glad you
Argentina,
picked him first because I was
Argentina
like,
for the sole purpose Lionel Messi, and also the fact that if Argentina they have one more friendly before the World Cup against the United Arab Emirates. If they don't lose in that, and then they play Saudi Arabia in their first match, which they should win both of those, they will either I believe they'll tie Italy for the longest win streak or unbeaten streak in international soccer history at 37 matches. So one more match after that, which I believe they play Mexico next. Then they will set the record, and I just think Argentina's too good not to win this group.
isn't
Alex?
it Messi's? Isn't it Messi's last? Is
It,
it his last World Cup?
it's very likely going to be the last World Cup for both Messi and Ronaldo, as well as a few other players. The end of the era that at least I've grown up watching is here, and it's going to be kind of crazy to see a World Cup without Messi and Ronaldo in it.
That's wild. I'm gonna go with Argentina though, because I mean, as the soccer, all the soccer that I know, which is just FIFA, and occasionally when I play it, Messi's my favorite player, and so I'm gonna go with Messi. Or gonna go with Argentina. I say Argentina, but I mean Messi. I'm just gonna go with Messi. So
Messi
I'm going with
FC.
Messi. Yeah, that's what it is.
I would have leaned Argentina as well with you guys. The one interesting thing to note is I don't remember the year that they were this high before, but they are the third ranked team in the world right now. Is that correct, Jerry?
Yeah, it is. I think it's
This team's
Brazil
on
one.
fire right now.
Yeah, I think it's Brazil one, Belgium two, and Argentina three.
They are getting hot at the right time, and if we know anything about tournaments, if you go into a tournament hot, crazy things happen.
Yeah, and Messi won his first international trophy for Argentina last summer in the Copa America, which he made two finals previously, losing both on penalties to Chile. And now he actually has a real supporting cast around him, and that's going to make him even more dangerous.
We just want to see Messi hoist that trophy. That's all we want.
There is a scenario where the World Cup final could be Messi in Argentina versus Ronaldo in Portugal.
Oh my
And
God!
if that happens, I think the internet might break.
The internet, the world.
That might be one of the highest viewed soccer games ever.
Yeah,
like 100 years from now too.
I think that's the highest sporting event. Like that is like going to be the most watched on the World Cup.
Has
Oh my
to be.
God!
Yeah.
Can we just
All
root for that then?
No, that'd be insane to see.
Alex, you are picking first for a runner-up in Group C. Where are we thinking?
Mexico.
All right.
Don't ask me why. I'm going with Mexico. Like, you know, I got a little Mexican blood in me, man. And we're just gonna go with Mexican. We're just gonna go with Mexico here. Poland. No one's worried about Poland. Saudi Arabia. Nah. We're going with Mexico. That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
Jerry, as our resident soccer expert here, is Alex talking out of his ass, or is he on something here?
I'm always talking out of my ass.
He might be talking out of his ass, but he's actually right in this situation. As good as Robert Lewandowski is arguably one of the best strikers in the world and won the Ballon d'Or 2 years ago, the Polish international is their leader in everything. But after him, there's a significant drop off. And there's one player for Mexico. Doesn't matter what's happening, doesn't matter how good the rest of his team is. But Guillermo Ochoa, their goalkeeper with the incredible hair, he always comes up big in the World Cup, and I think he'll do that again. And I believe Mexico plays Poland in their first match each, so we'll know a lot about that as well.
There you go. See,
a clean sweep for Mexico.
I mean, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Easy, light work.
I feel like we don't have to really discuss the Group D winner here. Like out of Australia, Denmark, France, and Tunisia. France, admittingly though, is dealing with a bit of an injury bug.
Yes, they are.
I believe N'Golo Kante is going to miss, right? Paul Pogba's going to miss. and I'm sure I'm missing a couple of other names as well, but this team is far too talented. They've got the depth and they've got star power to win this group pretty easily. Am I right or wrong?
You are right, but the interesting thing, there's two things I want to bring up real quick. 4 years ago, France's group, Australia, Denmark, France, and Peru. So virtually the exact same group. And France won 2 of those matches, but drew 0-0 with Denmark. I think Denmark could give them a little bit of an issue. But the other thing is the last 3 World Cup winners, I believe it was Italy in 2006, or no, it was Spain in 2010, the next World Cup. They missed out in the group stage. Germany in 2014 went out in the group stage of 2018. And then, it was Italy the year in 2006 went out in the group stage of the 2010 World Cup. So none of the former World Cup champions have gotten out of the group stage the next time around, which if France's injury woes or anything, their midfield is significantly hindered and they could be missing a starting center back in Raphael Varane. But I do think that Mbappe is too good, Griezmann, Benzema, their attack's just too strong.
Okay, this is just how my brain works. Okay, so in 2006, it was Italy and England, right?
No, it was Italy and France. That was when that went to penalties and Zidane headbutted the Italian player and was sent off.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay. No, okay, so, but there was an Italy and England match, and it was like a big match, wasn't there?
So, last summer in the European Championships.
No, 2006.
2006. No, England went out against Portugal on penalties.
What am I thinking of? Okay, so do y'all know the movie Flushed Away? No? Never mind. I am totally like off the grid right now. Never mind. Bro, but that's just so. Y'all go ahead. Never mind.
All right.
Everything I was about to say.
We're gonna skip right past the Flushed Away story and pick France as the winner. Who are we thinking is the runner-up in Group D?
Do you want it, Chickster, or you want me to take it first?
Well, you bring up an interesting point that I didn't know until about 30 seconds ago, that Denmark went 0-0 with France. So in the last World Cup, so I think that is important to know. I think that's what you said. But what I really just for the fucks of it, I really just want to go Australia here, but I'm gonna go with Denmark. Denmark's the smarter play here. I know off common knowledge that Denmark is a better soccer team, but I just like Australia. Like I think Australia is just an easy team to root for, but we're gonna go with Denmark here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Australia does have the best nickname, in my opinion, the Socceroos, but love that. And, I mean, Denmark, they have a bit of an itch on their back. They made the semifinal in the Euros last year, and they did it without their best player, Christian Eriksen, who I don't know if you guys were watching or knew about this or remember this, but the first game of the group stage in the Euros against Finland, he had a very serious heart issue and I think was legally dead for 5 minutes. They brought him back. There was a point where he thought his career was probably over, but now he's back playing in form. He's looking really good for Denmark, playing terribly for Man U, but who isn't? Love to see that. But I think Denmark will be able to get through second in this group relatively easy, and I can actually see them upsetting France and winning this group.
A bit of a bold take by Jerry Walker.
I still think they'll finish second, but I can definitely see a scenario where they win this group.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So going over the first 4 groups, we've got Netherlands winning Group A with Senegal qualifying as well. We've got England coming out of Group B with the United States following in tow. Group C is won by Argentina, led by Lionel Messi, with Mexico coming out as well. And in Group D, France wins with the potential Denmark upset, winning the group as well. But Denmark qualifies anyway. Moving on to Group E, we've got Costa Rica, Germany, Japan, and Spain. Alex Chick, who wins the group?
Germany. Yeah, I think if you asked me, a few years ago, I would have said Spain. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think Spain's getting a little bit older. Not as many of their highlight players, or the players I used to play with on FIFA, Garrett, when we would go head to head and we would do international. I would always pick Spain. However, I'm recognizing less and less names on the Spain roster, so that's how I know they're getting a little bit older. And Spain can still play, and I think Spain's always going to be one of those teams that can compete. But I think Germany is just they have the talent, and I think that's going to be the winner of Group E at least.
Jerry?
I'm gonna go with Spain. I think the youth that this team has now with Pedri, the Barcelona player, and then a few others whose names I'm blanking on, they have the team to do it and win this group. And Germany lost a key player this past week. Their forward and striker Timo Werner is going to be out for the World Cup after suffering an injury playing for Red Bull Leipzig over either this past weekend or in the Champions League last week. So it's going to be tough sailing for Germany, I think, but I do have Spain winning this group.
That bitch.
Yeah, couldn't
I
handle
don't like
it.
that guy now. Timo Werner, I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I am the tiebreaker, and I just based off of the knowledge that Jerry Walker just dropped, I'm probably gonna have to lean Spain as well. Losing a big striker like that up front weeks before the World Cup, I mean, they're gonna have the talent to try to potentially replace him, but a guy like Werner is a game changer, and I think that Jerry alluded to it. They've got the right young youth pieces in Spain that maybe they can make some noise out of this group. With that being said, it seems like we're both everyone's high on Germany and Spain, so the assumption is Germany's also making out of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if there's really a group of death in this World Cup, but if there was, I would say it's probably this one with two former World Cup winners in it, Germany and Spain. And Japan could get an upset against one of these teams. But I mean, we saw Germany, they've kind of have a whole new generation of players after they went out in the group stage in 2018, shockingly, after losing to South Korea in the last match.
I don't know. Germany. I'm going for Germany. I have to prove. I have to try to act like I know what I'm doing and prove you wrong now. So I'm hoping Germany wins that group.
If Germany wins the group, he's gonna message in the soccer chat they knew it all along.
Oh,
I do.
Rightfully
like,
so.
I'm like Burner who? Like no one needs that schmuck. You know what I mean? Like.
All right, moving on to Group F, we've got Belgium, Canada, Croatia, and Morocco. Jerry Walker, is this Belgium's group, or do we have an upset potentially at the top?
I think this is probably Belgium's group, but this is one of the more intriguing groups to me because Croatia's midfield, as we saw, Croatia made the World Cup final in 2018, lost to France 4-2, but they're an old team now. Their entire midfield is probably 34 plus, but it's the same with Belgium. This is the last World Cup for Belgium with their so-called golden generation of Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, and a number of other players, probably Thibaut Courtois, their goalkeeper. But I do think Belgium will be able to get out of this. Canada is another team. Canada in this group, they won the North American qualifying. They were the best team in North American qualifying, mostly on the back of Alphonso Davies, the defensive player or right back who plays for Bayern Munich. But he is a big question going into the World Cup because he tweaked his hamstring this past weekend. Without him, Canada is probably going to get shit on.
I don't know.
Belgium?
I feel like you said you were saying like you don't think there's a group of death. I think this is the group of death. I look at all four of these teams and like I said, common knowledge, simple-minded, casual, whatever you want to say. Like I feel like all of these teams are kind of very close together. Mm-hmm. Morocco probably being the lowest, but they can play with it a little bit. I think if any of these teams like slip up, get like just a heartbreaking loss, that might be it for them. Like I think this is a cutthroat group to where they're all kind of nearly each other. That if any of these teams fuck up or any of these teams go on a run, they're gonna win this group. I have Croatia. I like Modric. That's literally it's like Modric or Hazard. I kind of like Modric a little bit more, so I'm gonna go with Croatia and Modric. Hopefully, you talk about old. I say it's experience, just the experience. But I mean, you said Belgium's old too. But I'm just gonna go with Croatia. I feel like they. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Croatia here to win.
All right, that makes me the tiebreaker again. I am also going to lean Belgium with Jerry Walker. I think this team has.
You're just taking Jerry Walker's side.
Well, I mean, he is our resident expert. But with that being said,
I thought we were friends.
We are. We are in this generation with these Belgian players that this is really their last hoorah. This is their last run. Like this is this is really going to be it for them. Out at 4 years from now, we may be talking. They may not even qualify, and if they do, they may not even make it out of the group stage. I'm going to lean Belgium. My second team coming out is Canada. I think that Alphonso Davies, like you said, if he does play, he is a complete game changer. I also love Jonathan David.
Yeah.
He plays for LOSC something.
Oh, he plays for Lille.
Yes,
Lille
that's the
in
club.
the
There we
French
are.
League One.
Yes, I love Jonathan David a lot. I like his game quite a bit. I think he can be a menace up front for this Canadian team, and plus, I think it'd be fun. This is the second time in history that they've qualified for the World Cup. Do I have that right?
I believe so. I think I can't remember when the last time was. I want to say it was 86, but I know I think this is the second time they've ever made it.
I mean, what a hell of a story it would be if Canada beats a team like Croatia to get through, and maybe they pull off some sort of draw with Belgium, or they hang with a team like that. I think it'd be a great story.
Yeah, it definitely would be. It'd be super cool to see Canada get through, but I'm taking Morocco, the team you guys aren't looking too high on. They have one of the best players defensively in his position in the world, and defenseman Hakimi, who plays for PSG. He's lightning fast. He's super good on the ball. He's great getting back on defense and moving up in attack. And they also have Hakim Ziyech, who plays for Chelsea, who's been inconsistent for Chelsea, but for Morocco, they just have a very quick team that I can see giving issues to teams like Croatia and Belgium, but Canada is also fast. But I don't know. I'm just kind of leaning towards Morocco, and this is probably my biggest upset of the tournament.
That is quite the upset.
So we didn't plan for this because I didn't think we were going to have a three-way tie. Because I'm going with Croatia. Let's see.
What would be the easiest way to split a three-way tie?
Does anyone have a dice to roll?
I don't, man. Okay. How about this? We'll figure out a method. Let's go to G&H, and we will figure out a method.
We'll come back.
And we'll go back.
We'll circle back to you. We'll circle back to you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Group G. A little controversy in Group F right now. Group G is Brazil, Cameroon, Serbia, and Switzerland. Again, I don't think this takes much deliberation. I'm assuming we're all thinking Brazil's making it out of Group G as the winner.
Yeah, Brazil is arguably the deepest team in this entire tournament. They're like Man City if you follow the Premier League. They can do two entire lineups of 11 different players, and both would win this group.
Alex,
Yep.
No debate there.
Yep.
All right, who are we thinking as the runner-up then?
Alex, you want to take this one?
I have Serbia. Yeah. When you tell me Serbia, Cameroon, and Switzerland, I'm like, these are all soccer teams, and so I was like, Serbia.
I'm gonna make Jerry Walker be the deciding picks because I think I know where he's going.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna roll with Mitrovic. I actually wrote his name down, Mitrovic.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm rolling
right.
with. And his name is Alexander, which is kind of like my name, but you know.
I am going to roll with Switzerland to make it out of this group as well. I think that this team has a lot of experience. I think that with another kind of upset, I think a lot of people are probably leaning Brazil, Serbia to make it out of this group. I like Switzerland. Jerry?
On terms of the betting aspect, it's a very, very close race between Serbia and Switzerland. I think they're both around like minus 110 to get out of the group. But Alex has it right. I'm going with Serbia solely because of Alexander Mitrovic. He's been a goal-scoring machine for Fulham, and he's finally scoring goals in the Premier League, which has been his issue the last two times they've been promoted. But I mean, in the Championship, the second division of English soccer, last year, I think he scored something like 45 goals, something absurd, and set the record. He is a lethal goal scorer. He's big, he's strong, he's aggressive. He's just the all-around package, and I think he's going to be good enough to get Serbia through to the next round.
All right.
Yeah, how do you like that?
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to our last group here. We've got Ghana, Portugal, South Korea, and Uruguay.
This, I would say, is very much like Group F. all four of these teams I can see getting out of the group stage. Ghana's going to have the hardest time too. And the big question for me is Heung-min Son going to be playing for South Korea? He got hurt last week in the Champions League. He's very questionable of whether or not he's going to be going to Qatar for the World Cup. He's by far South Korea's best player. And I personally think if he's healthy, South Korea could actually win this group. But I am going to lean with the concern of him. I'm going with Portugal and Ronaldo. And it's kind of, I want to see Ronaldo kind of. I want to see Ronaldo go out, but I'm fine if.
I think just the looming decision that this is probably his last World Cup. I think he's gonna play. Not that he doesn't play hard already, but he's gonna play. For his country, he's gonna play a lot harder. I think emotions do play into it. I am gonna go with Portugal as well.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as Ronaldo is concerned, he's had an absolute shite year for Man U. He's even got bent. There was a point where they took him off the senior team and had him go play with the under-21 team. He was having that bad of a year. And he was the captain for Manchester United on this past Sunday, and they lost 3-1 against Aston Villa, a team who the last time Aston Villa beat Man U at home, I believe it was 1998.
Oh, God.
So Ronaldo hasn't.
Don't tell me that guy's better than Messi. Don't tell me that guy's better than Messi.
No, he's not. Messi's balling out right now, and Ronaldo's playing with the kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But what do I know? I'm just a casual soccer fan, so whatever.
All right, casual soccer fan. Let's hear who you have making it.
Fuck, don't do that.
Now you got to go first. Let's hear it.
I know. So I did know about that South Korea dude. I didn't know. I know they had a player, and I'm still not sure what his name is. I know you said it, but however, I think the safer pick for me would be just to go with Uruguay. From what I know from past World Cups or past international soccer matches, is Uruguay is usually really competitive. Not necessarily a team that's going to surprise you, but usually a team that might make it out of the group or kind of competes to get out of the group. So I'm going to go with Uruguay. Don't ask me any players. I'm just Uruguay.
Gary, you want to go next?
Oh, man. I think my original choice was I was kind of going to go with the upset and pick Ghana maybe. Is that crazy? I don't know, though.
No, it's not crazy at all.
I watched a little of the AFCON games from this past tournament. I like these teams a lot, dude. I think
Ghana, and I mean Ghana's in there almost every single year, and they've played against Portugal in the past World Cups in the group stage and given them a trouble. Continue with what you're saying of Ghana.
That's really all I have. I don't really have a lot of rhyme or reason behind it. I'm picking the upset with Ghana.
I like that. I'm reading right now that the Tottenham manager Antonio Conte is confident that Son will be playing for South Korea in the World Cup. So I'm gonna lean towards South Korea getting out of the group for that. Luis Suarez is getting old as dirt. He's going back to another three-way tie. But Luis Suarez is getting old as dirt. Edinson Cavani's not. I don't even know if he's playing for a club team right now. And it's really just been those two. They've suffered numerous injuries to key players that I don't know if they're going to heal in time for the World Cup. But the match that I'm most excited about in this group, though, is Ghana and Uruguay. Because I don't know if you guys will remember 2010 in the quarterfinals, Ghana was playing Uruguay. In the last minute of extra time, Ghana had a shot on goal. Luis Suarez decided to be the goalkeeper, slaps the ball down, gets a red card. Ghana gets a penalty with a chance to become the first African team to ever make the World Cup semifinal, and guy roofs it off the top of the bar, and Uruguay ends up winning on penalties.
No.
I remember that because they ended up because Uruguay ended up winning, correct?
They won that match and then lost in the semifinal.
Listen, controversial, very controversial. Would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. Like you can't. Like I'm a big guy, and you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And
I do
like
like that.
he
I do
sees
like
that, I'm
that.
like, and then they ended up winning. So I'd have been like, yeah, I'll
It
take that.
worked
I'll take
itself
that.
out, and I feel like, but I mean, it was a smart play. It worked out incredibly for him. But Ghana has had revenge on their mind for against Uruguay since that match, and I think they will get it. I think Uruguay actually finished last in this group, and it's kind of a toss-up for me between South Korea and Ghana.
Okay.
But I think Heung-min Son is the difference maker.
I'll change my pick on this one. I'm not picking it for Group F. And I have an idea for Group F,
Okay.
but for Group H, I'll go South Korea because you
Okay.
told me that South Korean player is going to play. So I know like I did write his name down, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I can't pronounce names very
He
well.
is
So
notoriously terrible at pronouncing names.
But
so
we'll give it a try then.
uh,
Yeah, I
No,
feel
no.
like you have to now.
Yeah, now you've teased us already.
okay. Hold on. San Juan Min.
Yeah, pretty close.
You got the right idea.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, that's pretty
I
right.
can go
I
to
mean,
South Korea right now and talk to him.
oh, yeah.
Like, okay. Now,
All right,
for
Alex.
Group F,
I was gonna say, let's hear your idea. Circling back to Group F here, we have Belgium winning the group, but we are torn on a three-way tie on who is
anticlimactic,
the runner-up.
anticlimactic, but where's that list that you guys were talking about? You were talking about Netherlands or whatever, Brazil.
Oh, like the world
the
rankings?
world ranking.
Yes.
I believe I can pull that up right now, but I believe Croatia is the highest ranked team. If that's what you're going with, give me a couple seconds and I'll get it.
Either that or we can go with betting odds on who makes it out of the tournament, but I don't know if that's Croatia as well.
I can look up the betting odds.
Yeah, and I'll look up the rankings.
Alex, will you entertain the fans at home while we're looking this up?
Well, well, no.
All right. So as far as the world rankings go, Croatia is ranked 12th. Morocco is ranked 22nd, and Canada is 41st.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, are we
also ranked far behind the U.S. and Mexico and won that group? So
Let's do it this way. We can. So for me, like we could try to take the average of it. So I picked Croatia to win. Like everyone just lists 1, 2, 3 out of these groups, and then from there I can like get the average, and then from there maybe the average will tell us who to go with.
Do you want to hear the betting odds?
Yeah, what's the betting odds? Just so I know.
Belgium is a -750 favorite to win the group, but Croatia is a -200 to qualify, which means they are the favorite to make it out of the group. Morocco is +200 and Canada is +275.
I feel like it's too easy just because from the rankings and the betting odds, Croatia is supposed to win. So I think if we do it this, we'll rank the last 3 teams, 1, 2, 3. I'll write them down. I can figure out the average real quick, and then we can work from there. Does that sound good?
good.
All right, cool. So I got Croatia. I did have Canada as my third team and Morocco. So I'm trying to spell Morocco. Okay, that's mine. Okay. Don't laugh at me. I'm a math teacher. Okay, Garrett, who are your top 3? You got Canada.
Yeah, I had Canada, and then I'm going to pick Croatia, then Morocco.
Croatia and Morocco. Okay. From what I can tell right now, whoever Jerry picks second will go on.
Yep.
So you got Morocco, and then
that'll
who do
be
you got?
Canada.
Canada. We're going with Canada, boys.
I think I just think Croatia's they're too old. They're gonna find a way to choke. We haven't had any really of the big teams go out so far doing this, so I have a feeling at least one will, and I can see that being Croatia.
Okay, so now I have to prove everyone wrong about Germany and Croatia. Okay, cool.
And here is our round of 16 bracket. Let's go through the matchups first, and then we will pick our picks. Working left down and then right down, we have the Netherlands going against the United States. Oof. We've got Argentina going up against Denmark. Spain goes up against the speedy Canada team. Brazil takes on South Korea. England got Senegal. France goes up against Mexico. We've got Belgium against Germany and Portugal against Serbia. Before we get into the picks, out of these games, which do we think might be the game that we have to watch? Which is going to be the most entertaining game?
Alex, you want to go first? You want me to?
Uh, from what I can see, I think Belgium and Germany is probably going to be a really good game. I think
Yeah.
that might be the best game. Just looking at the other ones, like I see some that could be good, but like I feel like that one's pretty close, and I think that one's going to be, really that's a bad draw for either team, just because I think they're both pretty good, and that they're going to have to play another pretty good team right off the bat. Is that's tough.
Yeah,
So
no, I 100% agree with you. I think it's that Germany-Belgium match is by far the most interesting and exciting because two of the top teams in the world. I still do not understand how in the hell Belgium is the number 2 ranked FIFA team in the world, but that's a completely different conversation because they haven't won anything is my thing. They haven't even made it to a final yet, but
they're
nonetheless,
they're playing
I think
they're
that'll be the
playing
most
for
interesting.
they're playing for whoever's the best black, yellow, and red team. That's what it is. You know what I mean? But that whole stadium is going to be filled with black, yellow, and red. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, absolutely. I got a feeling you're going to be pretty accurate on that one.
I think a game that might go a little slept on is France and Mexico. Call me crazy. I think that, Jerry alluded to this earlier, is that France is pretty beat up right now. I mean, knock on wood, obviously, they don't get any other injuries in the group stage, but Guillermo Ochoa always shows up in big moments. And I think that a couple of big saves in this game, I think France could be on upset alert here. I'm not going and picking that necessarily when we get to that later, hint, hint, but I think that could be a really good game to watch as well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one as well. It could be very exciting, but one thing to know about Mexico, I think it's been the last 5 World Cups they've gotten out of the group stage and immediately been knocked out in the round of 16.
Good information
What
to
does
have
Jerry know? You know what I mean? What does Jerry know?
All right, let's
Guys,
get into our picks here. Yep.
the good thing is we will have no three-way ties.
No, we won't. I think that'll
That
be
is
We'll,
true.
no,
if we
no
do that.
three-way.
If we do, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, if we find a way to get a three-way tie here, I don't think we should be doing this anymore.
There is one more
Cut the
game.
video.
There's one more match on the left side of the bracket that I kind of want to touch on a little bit that could actually be really exciting is Argentina and Denmark. We all know about Messi. Messi is the best player in the world still, but Denmark is a good team. They have good players and they know how to win scrappy games. I think when they made the semifinals in the Euros last summer, I believe they won at least one, maybe even 2 matches on penalties. And I think they knocked out, if memory serves me correct, they knocked out France on penalties in the quarterfinals.
Good to know. Good to know. Ooh, okay.
Always good details coming from Jerry Walker.
All
All right, let's get into our predictions. First up is Netherlands against the United States. Alex Chick with his hands up first. Let's hear it.
USA.
All right.
The only reason why I'm picking USA is because I know you guys are going to pick Netherlands, and so it doesn't matter because USA is not going to advance. But USA.
He wants it to be known that somebody in this
Someone
booth
has faith in the
USA.
I'm rooting for the US.
He's
Okay,
back in the blue.
I'm rooting for you guys. Don't let me down.
That makes one of us. I'm going with the orange of Netherlands. I think if they play each other, I could see this very much being like a 3-0 win for the Dutch.
No.
It could get ugly for US, but they do have young players that could surprise. Got to shout out the 2 Leeds boys with the flag behind me, Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams controlling that midfield for the US. But I think the Dutch are too strong, too powerful.
I will say this. I think momentum is a big thing in tournaments. I think that if the United States have a really strong showing in the group stage, they could have a really competitive showing against Netherlands. But I am also going to pick Netherlands. I think that this team just is too young right now. In 4 years, if they keep maturing and developing, hey, man, this could be a whole different ballgame. This could be completely different. But in the current state right now, I think that they're just going to lack the experience.
Yeah, in 4 years' time, I can see the U.S. making at least the quarterfinals and being an issue for these bigger, well-known soccer countries. With the talent that they have playing in Europe's leagues and the youth they have, It's just gel. For once, the U.S. team looks like they have players gelling together and are getting that experience competing against other worldly players. Now, that was the issue in the past couple of World Cups. I mean, missed out the last one, but you go up against a team, you come up as the U.S. with a team of maybe one or two players playing in Europe. The rest are in the MLS, maybe Mexico, but the level of play in the MLS in Mexico is nowhere near the standard of the Premier League, the Bundesliga, where some of these American guys are thriving. And one player I kind of forgot to mention a little bit earlier on the U.S., a big question for them is going to be Weston McKennie, the Juventus midfielder that has been superb for the U.S. when he's played, but he's questionable to play in the World Cup.
Nah, he'll be fine. He'll be all right.
Yeah, throw some tape on him, he'll be fine.
Yeah, my man's
Dude,
good.
he'll be
He's
all
fine.
good.
He's fine.
He'll be
Throw
all
his ass
good.
in there. He's good.
All right, so we've got the Netherlands beating the United States, moving on to the quarterfinals. Who they will play in the quarterfinals is decided here between Argentina and Denmark. Jerry Walker, you're first.
Argentina. I think Argentina is with beside the fact that Messi, he has a real striker in front of him in Lautaro Martinez, the Inter Milan striker. In the past, we've seen Sergio Aguero as the forward and Gonzalo Higuain, who have both let Messi down when he matters. I think in the knockout round of the what was it, 2014 World Cup when Argentina made the final, I think Messi scored all but maybe one of the goals in the knockout stage. So now he has a supporting cast around him, and I think Argentina wins this match comfortably. Actually, not comfortably, because I do like the Denmark team, but
I went ahead and put Argentina through just based off of Alex's response. Is that a fair assumption that you're going to pick Argentina as well? Yeah, there we go. All right, moving on to the bottom half of this bracket here. I don't even know why I touched it. I had it perfect. We've got Spain going up against Canada. Alex, does Canada pull off the upset and continue the momentum?
Spain. My Canada rooting for Canada ended like 2 minutes ago. No, Spain. We're going with Spain.
Jerry Walker, are you leaning Spain as well?
I want to say Canada, but I'm going with Spain. I want to hope that Canada can pull off an upset, but I think Spain has too much skill and too much talent for the Canadian side.
I'm going on the record. Canada wins this game in extra time, 2-1. I'm picking it.
So you didn't want to root for the U.S., but you root for Spain, and you root for Canada?
I can completely see Canada winning this match. I think Spain will, but I can definitely see Canada doing it, and it would be extra time or penalties if they do.
Just keep an eye out. 2-1 in extra time.
They have the filthy speed that not a lot of teams can match, and Alphonso Davies is one of the better players for his age in the world.
We'll see. All right, we've got Brazil, one of the favorites, going up against South Korea. We're going to toss it over to Jerry. Does South Korea stand a chance here?
No.
There you go.
Easy enough.
One word answer.
We're going to keep it moving to the right side of the bracket now. We've got England going up against Senegal. Alex, to you.
England.
And I know Jerry's leaning the same way.
I am indeed. I think Senegal could cause issues for England with their pace up top, and especially Sadio Mane, who's been playing in the Premier League up until this season. And England has some injury issues on defensively. Ben Chilwell has just been announced that he's going to be out for the World Cup as a left back or right back. But a couple other defensive players haven't been playing well or are injured. So I could see Senegal causing a little bit of an issue, but I think at the end of the day, England's too good for the Senegalese side.
Where does Sadio Mane play now? Because he played for Liverpool for a long while.
Yeah, he went to Bayern Munich this year, and Bayern Munich always wins the Bundesliga, and Liverpool's been contending with the Premier League. They even won it once the last 4 years. It's been them and Man City. Everyone thought it was all Mo Salah, but you take away Sadio Mane from that team, and they're, sitting 10th in the Premier League? They've just lost 3 straight matches to teams in the relegation zone at the time they played. So I think Mane's the better player than maybe Salah is. He just didn't have the numbers to put it up. Or he's not the better. He's the more important player for that Liverpool team.
Going to write down the hot take by Jerry there. Gotta love it. We're going to file it under things you love to see. All right, we're going to keep moving here. We've got France going up against Mexico, a game I alluded to that was one of my favorites coming out of the round of 16. Alex, do we have an upset on our hands maybe, or is France moving on?
I think France moves on. Injuries or not, I think France is just loaded. I mean, you can't and you know, Jerry kind of already alluded to it. I mean, Mexico's prone to getting knocked down in the first knockout stage or the first round of the knockout stage. So Ochoa might cause some problems. I don't think it's going to be as big as a big margin win as maybe some were predicting. However, I do think France will come out on top.
Yeah,
Jerry?
I agree with you. I do guys remember the 2014 U.S. Belgium match in the World Cup where
Oh my God.
Tim Howard stood on his
Tim
head and had something
Howard.
like 15 saves, but they still lost. I could see that being the same with this Mexico France match. Ochoa could stand on his head, make millions of saves, yet there will be one that gets through, and I don't think Mexico will be able to break down that French defense.
I was traveling with my in my family, and we had an RV. We still have the RV, but we were traveling right there, and we were listening to it on the radio. And literally, all you hear was Tim Allen saves it again. Here's another save for Tim. Like it was like going crazy. Like you could just hear everyone going crazy in the background. It was fucking nuts. Like Tim Howard was on his fucking shit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was probably one of the greatest goalkeeping performances in a World Cup match by anybody.
Yeah, I love it.
Moving on to arguably the best game in the round of 16, we've got Belgium going up against Germany. Jerry Walker, which way are we leaning?
Germany. I do think the Germans will get it done. I think Belgium will find a way to mess it all up. I think they kind of got a little benefit of the draw, same way England got a benefit of the draw in the 2018 World Cup to make it to the semifinals. But I just think Germany will find a way to get it done. They always do. They always seem to find a way to win.
Alex, do you agree?
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago, Jerry was saying how Belgium is a very old team. So I think that it plays a factor in here, and that Germany is just going to be. I think they're all around better, but then Belgium is kind of getting kind of old. Therefore, Germany's going to win. But I think even without that knowledge, I would have picked Germany anyway. So
Moving on to our last game of the round of 16, is this Cristiano Ronaldo's final game in the World Cup, or does he move on to see one more match? Alex?
oh yeah, you see that, Jerry? Yeah, me first.
Well, I went Jerry last time. I'm trying
That's
to keep
true.
it
That is
fair.
true.
I want to go with Ronaldo, but I'm gonna go with Serbia. I'm gonna go with Serbia here. Just because from what I've known is that usually Portugal just has Ronaldo and never really enough talent. Usually they make it out of the group, but then they start in the knockout stage. Usually they're pretty prone to early exits. I think that's the case here. I think Serbia might just be an all around better team. Jerry Walker says that Ronaldo's in a slump, and I think that slump might go into the World Cup. We'll see. Even with Ronaldo wanting to play hard for his country one last time, um, they might they might make it out of the group, but I think Serbia is gonna go ahead and take it.
You want to Garrett or you want me to take it?
I will take it, and I'll let you be the deciding factor. I'm going to lean Portugal here, only because we had briefly mentioned before in the group stage, we had them winning the group. I think that if they win, right? I think we had them winning that group, right?
Yeah, we had Portugal win the group.
Yeah, we had them winning the group. I think that in order for them to win that group, Ronaldo's got to turn it up to 11. He's got to snap out of this funk that he's been in, because that's a good group that he's playing in. And if he can power that group if he can power the team out of that group, who's to say he can't put on one more performance against the Serbian team, who, admittedly, very talented. I think Alex touched on it a little bit. Portugal has had an issue in the past with there being Ronaldo, and then kind of trickling down, and there's just the rest of the group. I think that if there was ever a time for him to snap out of it and truly find his form, I think it's here, and I'm going to pick Portugal.
Well, it's the deciding vote. I think Portugal and Ronaldo peaked when they won the European Championships in 2016. I'm actually going with Alex on this one. I have Serbia getting through, and it's really. 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 and it's based on the, the echo.
Yeah, we've got a bit of an echo here. It's on Alex's end.
Oh, okay. I'm going with them solely on because of Alexander Mitrovic, and I feel like Dusan Tadic, their captain, is solid in midfield, and I think he'll be able to control the midfield more than Bruno Fernandes.
Look at that face. Oh no!
All
right.
But anyway, I think they'll be able to control the midfield more. And two numbers I want to say: Alexander Mitrovic has played in 76 matches for Serbia, and he has 50 goals. So he's an insane goal scorer and knows how to find the back of the net against elite European competition. And I think he will again this time. So I'm going with Alex and saying Serbia wins that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything, and then I panicked, and then so I'm glad we picked Serbia because I was totally lost. I totally missed the entire explanation for it, but me and Jerry walked on the same page, so
let's go Serbia.
All right, we're moving on to the quarterfinals of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Our first matchup is the Netherlands going up against Argentina. We're gonna throw it over to Jerry. What are we thinking?
Argentina. I think Argentina is one of my two favorite teams to win this entire World Cup, but I just think the Netherlands, as good as they can be, I think Argentina can do everything a little bit better in every aspect of it, and I have them going through to the semifinals.
Alex, do you share that sentiment?
I'll throw it over to you, Garrett.
Well, I'm also going to pick Argentina here. I think that this team's hot right now. This team's playing like they got their hair on fire, and plus kind of the same thing I was sort of touching on with Ronaldo, but I'm really going to lean on with Messi. I want to see him do well. I'm sending him this positive energy. I want to see this team go far. I want to see Argentina potentially hoist that trophy at the end. They got to get through Netherlands to do that.
As good
I knew it was coming.
as good as Messi has been for Argentina, there's one player that Argentinian fans will always look up to more than maybe Messi, and that's Diego Maradona. Why? Because Maradona won the World Cup for Argentina. He single-handedly carried them to the World Cup victory in, I don't remember the year off the top of my head, but it was the year he did the hand of God and then scored the greatest goal ever in a World Cup in the same match, 4 minutes apart. But Messi's to reach to that level of Argentinian legendariness, even more than he already is, he'll need to win a World Cup, and I think this is the first step. This might be his best chance at doing so.
All right. Good insight. We're going to move on to Spain versus Brazil. Alex, do Brazil line up against Argentina in the semifinals, or does Spain have something to say about it?
I think we're gonna go with Brazil here. I think Brazil is just an all-around better team. And they're ranked 1 or 2 or 3, something like that, in the FIFA World Rankings thing. So I'm gonna go with Brazil.
Jerry?
I agree. I think Brazil gets it done. They're, like I said earlier, they're the deepest team in this entire World Cup and have skill and talent everywhere on the pitch that it's impossible for many teams to beat them.
We're going to move on to the right side of the bracket. Now, this may be one of the games of the tournament. We've got England going up against France, and I'm gonna go back to Jerry on this one because he is repping the England kit here. What are we moving them on? Does France put up a fight here?
My brain says France will probably get it done because England will find a way to choke. But for the sole purpose of this, I'm going with England to pull it off. I think the English midfield is going to be able to control the tempo of the play much more than the French midfield because France is going to be relying on players who are 24, 23 years old, maybe including a 19 or 20-year-old Eduardo Camavinga. So I just think England will find a way to get it done against the French.
Alex?
Hey, Garrett, sidebar?
Yeah.
Sidebar. What are you picking?
I'm probably going to pick England. I like France a lot, though, because they won it 4 years ago. But, I mean, I like them a lot. And I'd like England to maybe shut up about it coming home, so.
I was gonna say that injury bug thing again for France. Okay. I'm gonna go England. I'm for Jerry Walker's purpose. We kind of alluded to it earlier too. France has had this injury bug, and you know, we don't know how that'll affect them in the group stage. Maybe they tweak it a little bit more. Like, and I hate to wish injuries on anybody, but I don't know. I like England. I think why not? Let's go for England. Fuck it. Like I don't give a fuck. Let's go England. I used to live in England too, which is crazy. But
Oh shit, where in England did you live?
yes, I don't know. I think we were about an hour or two away from London. My dad was military, so we lived on a military base. So, or yeah, something like that.
Fair enough.
I was in middle school, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
All right, the bottom half of the right side of the bracket here for the quarterfinals is Germany against Serbia. I am going to take this one first, just because I haven't taken one first yet. So fuck you guys both. I am going to pick Germany because
Shocker.
fuck Serbia. I don't know shit. I think that Germany's always talented, right? I mean, Germany's always a team that we have to talk about. They're a perennial contender. I think they have that pedigree. I think that it's Serbia. Jerry's been talking about this great midfield that they have, and that's all well and good, but I'm going with Germans.
They just find ways to win. I'm going with Germany as well.
Like there's death taxes in Germany, like making a deep run into the World Cup. So that's.
I'm gonna use that reference again in a second. But
there you go.
All right, we are going to the semifinals now, where we have Argentina going up against Brazil. I think we are going to go with Alex first.
Can I? No, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just wanted to point one thing out before we get into this. Last time Argentina and Brazil were scheduled to play each other was in World Cup qualifying, and that match didn't happen because it was kind of during the COVID period, and Argentina apparently brought over players to Brazil who weren't quarantined long enough or had the vaccine or something. So Brazilian deporting agencies stormed the field and pretty much kicked these Argentinian players out of the country.
Damn.
So the match was canceled.
Bro, Jerry just has all the info. He's so knowledgeable, and he's like, oh, this game's coming up. I got this little tidbit information for you.
And it's just like we did not plan this out. Like he's just like, oh yeah, the Messi, Argentina and Brazil. Like this what happened during this. I was like, okay.
I may watch a little too much soccer, but that's okay.
It's not a bad problem to have.
No, it's not.
Guys, you already know what it is. Like Messi. That's what we're going with.
Garrett, you want it next, or you want me to take it next?
I'll let you go because I think I know where you're going, and it's going to force my hand to be a tiebreaker potentially. So for the sake of the content for the video, I'm going to let you go.
It's not going to be a tiebreaker. I'm going with Argentina and Messi as well. I think it's time for Argentina to really beat Brazil. I'm so sad that this will be a semifinal because this match should really be the World Cup final. And I think if it was the World Cup final, it would be an incredible match because there is no love lost between these two teams. If there's a bet to take in this match, bet the over on whatever the yellow cards are put at. There is going to be a lot of very brutal tackles, a lot of very aggressive, angry players playing against each other, and it's just pure hatred between the two teams.
Could this play a factor though? Because if a lot of dirty tackles and stuff, and you get a red, two yellows, or even a bad enough. Usually, I guess they try to avoid it in like the bigger games, but giving out a red card right away. But like a couple bad tackles here and there, you get a red card, and that plays into the final. So could that be a factor in this game?
It could indeed be. I believe. I want to say it was the Copa Americas in 2019. When they played each other in the semifinals, someone got a red card for one of the two teams, and it was the team that ended up winning, but they weren't able to play in the final. And they ended up. I don't remember who won, but either way, the guy got a red card, and it changed the entire momentum of that match.
Yeah. So I feel like. These teams don't like each other. It could be a lot of yellow cards. I'm sure the refs will try their hardest not to have any implications on the final if this is the matchup that we get in the semis. But I mean, if blows come to blows and it's just something they can't really excuse, man, that could be a big thing in there. So,
All right. To find out who plays Argentina in the World Cup final, we've got England and Germany. We're going to give it to I'll go first. Fuck
Garrett,
it, why not?
we'll give
I'm
it to
going
Garrett.
first.
Yeah.
I'll
Fuck
let you do it.
it. I'm going with England. Is that crazy? I think that we've been giving them the hot hand as of late. They played well in the group stage, and then they looked good against Senegal, and they beat up on an injured France team. I think that they might be able to ride this wave of momentum to the finals, and then just imagine an Argentina-England final would be excellent TV all around. I think
It's a Falkland Wars rematch. There's no love lost between those two countries either.
I'm
we're gonna give it to Alex because I want Jerry to go last in case Alex isn't picking England.
I'm not picking England. I'm gonna go with Germany. Just because, like I said, and Jerry kind of alluded to it. England has found a way to choke here and there. We've been giving them some good. We gave them a lot of love. Okay, they got to the semis, a lot of love here. However, I'm gonna go with Germany. Like I said, death taxes in Germany, and Germany making a deep run in the FIFA World Cup is usually a safe bet. I'm gonna go with Germany. England, they've been riding hot, but I don't know. I think Germany's just a safe pick for me. So, and we'll throw it over to Jerry Walker.
All right, I was gonna say Jerry's got to pick against his team, or is he gonna pick his boys to make the final? Jerry.
So 2 things before I make my prediction. England finally beat Germany in a knockout round of a major tournament in the Euros last summer. And that was amazing. The scenes of that were just great to see. But as far as and then the other thing, France, when they won the World Cup 4 years ago, the previous European championships, they were the host country and lost in the final at home. England lost in the Euro final at home this year. And to take it one step further, in the last World Cup, England made the semifinal and lost. And the World Cup before France won the World Cup, I believe they made the semifinal as well. But with that being said, death, taxes, and Germany beating England on penalties.
Oh man, that's a heartbreaker.
Dang.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
It's inevitable. If we play Germany, it's going to most likely go to penalties. That's what everyone expected in the Euros. Somehow we pulled it out then and didn't go to penalties, but this one will go to penalties and England will lose.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've got our 2022 FIFA World Cup final matchup, much to the chagrin of one Jerry Walker. We've got Argentina against Germany. We're going to give it to Jerry first as our resident expert. Kind of give us a breakdown of both teams, what fans should be looking for from each side in a matchup like this, and then prediction at the end.
Well, this will be the 4th time that we would have seen Argentina play Germany in the World Cup final. They did it twice, I believe, in 1974 and 1978, went back to back. And then in 2014, Germany beat Argentina in the World Cup final 1-0, and that was Messi and everybody else against a really, really good German team. I'm wrong. It was 1986, Argentina beat West Germany, and then 1990, West Germany beat Argentina, but then again in 2014. But
Jerry, you could be wrong about all that, but the way you came off and you were confident about it, I would have believed you for sure.
But,
I'm like, yep, he's spitting.
As far as both teams go, Germany, I feel because I thought Germany would win their group, I thought Germany would lose their group, go second behind Spain, which that's what we did have, and I have Argentina winning this. I like a lot more from Argentina. I think they are the best team in the world right now. They're on the hottest streak in the world, and I'm riding. Chicks, you want to say it?
Yeah.
Who's carrying? Yep, I'm riding Messi all the way to win his first ever World Cup and really establish himself as arguably the GOAT of the sport, along with Maradona and Pele.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like, I think this is, and that was the question. I was like, if Messi does win the World Cup, it's like, does this cement him as the GOAT, or is there still that discussion? there's no Messi versus Ronaldo even if he wins the World Cup. Like I mean, there's that's not even a discussion anymore. It's now is he with those other guys, Pele and I don't know what I don't know the other one. So, but I
Oh,
mean,
Maradona.
yeah, is he now? He's in that tier now, and it's like okay, now he has argument with that tier.
Yeah, yeah, it's really because I mean it's same sort of thing as talking about the LeBron, Michael Jordan conversation, different eras, both incredibly good players. That's the same with Pele, who was around in the 50s, won three, only player to win 3 World Cups. Could have won four, but he got hurt in 1966, and guess who brought it home instead? England. Uh, home turf. But no, Pele is probably, in my opinion, one of the best players of all time, if not the. And Maradona was an absolute monster. He was probably what, like 5'6", 5'7", but he was fast, strong, super skillful, and just had the flair for everything. But I don't know. I still like Messi to. This will get
Yeah,
Messi. This will kick Ronaldo out of the conversation of him versus Messi. Easy.
for sure. Garrett, are you with the sweep or are you on the side of Germany here?
Well, I had it all set up in my big old brain here, right? Jerry picked Argentina, and for the sake of the video, I was gonna play devil's advocate and pick Germany because I knew you were gonna pick Argentina. So I was gonna be like, Alex, who's gonna win it? And you're gonna be like, Messi.
I really thought about taking Germany, but then I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we're going with Messi. Like I
We're going
really
with
like
Messi. I
like
think I yeah I can't pick against Messi if he brings along this team to a World Cup final and what might be his last World Cup. How can you not? Like we're all romantic about every sport. Like how can you root against a guy who like one of the biggest trophies that's eluded him his entire career is this, and in his last dance to go get it, he has a chance in the final. You can't pick against him. You just can't.
No, not at all. And people kind of forget at times that Messi actually retired from the national team following the his second loss to Chile in the Copa Americas. Both times he lost on penalties. He retired for maybe a year, maybe a couple months. I don't remember the specifics, but took a step back, got himself all composed, came back, and Argentina has been on a tear. Another thing I just want to say about why it's kind of Argentina's due to win this. The last time a South American team won the World Cup was 2002, and that was Brazil. It's been four consecutive World Cup wins by European teams, and that reign is going to come to an end.
All right. Two more things really quick. I meant to do this first regard to the World Cup final, so that's a oof on me. Um, let's
we should have done the third
we
place
should have
one
did the
first.
third place game first before we went and did the final.
The
So,
most
but yeah,
irre-
fuck it. Who cares?
the most irrelevant game in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams will play all of their backups. You won't expect to see a whole lot. If we go on predictions, I'll just say right now Brazil wins because their backups are significantly better than England's backups.
There
Yeah,
you have it.
I was gonna allude. You were talking about how Brazil's a deep team, then if they're gonna play their backups, then we're gonna go with Brazil here. So
All right, we're gonna give them 2-0 because fuck it. Who cares? All right, let's do for the sake of this little challenge thing that I've got with Fox Sports, not an ad by the way. Let's do a can we do a score potentially?
hmm.
I'm leaning 2-1 Argentina. I mean, obviously we picked Argentina, so they have to win. I'm leaning 2-1.
Let's go. Let's get. We want to get romantic. We're gonna get really romantic. 3-2, Argentina. Messi gets a hat trick. Yeah, just fuck it. Let's just do it. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I don't hate that.
What I'm gonna lean 2-1 to Argentina with an extra time goal. No. But what I really wanted to say and go with is Germany take a 2-0 lead. Not looking good for Argentina. Messi scores 2 goals to get it to extra time and then wins it with a hat trick in extra time.
Ooh, that's
That would-
romantic.
I would,
That is romantic. I like
gotta get
that.
romantic about sports at times, especially the World Cup.
I would go fucking crazy. Like I'd be like,
That would be
Oh,
insane.
dude, everybody across the world would be going nuts. I didn't
Um,
see this. So let's go and let's answer these, I suppose. In what minute will the first goal be scored in the World Cup final match? And here are our options.
please give us select things and not just 1 through 90.
yeah,
Yeah, we have
Right.
1 through 10, 11 through 20, and all the way down.
okay.
Can you
So
guys see it?
no,
No.
we can't.
Okay, that's how it's formatted. So
So it's
So
just
it's
broken up into
increments of
10
10.
minutes.
It's increments of 10, correct?
I'm gonna go 20 to 30.
Yeah, I was probably going to lean the same there. But, I mean, if it's not 20 to 30, I think it'll be probably 60 to 70.
Ooh.
Actually, no, it'll be 70 to 80. It'll be a late winner or late first goal.
Okay. So do we want to kind of go maybe in the middle here, like maybe like 51 to 60 coming in right out of the half?
All right, that sounds good.
I like that.
All right,
I'm
fuck
with
it.
it.
Why not? And then in the game that nobody absolutely cares about, we're going to get spicy, and we're going to do a goal in the first 10 minutes. Because who
Yep.
cares?
That's what I was gonna go.
Yeah, I was also.
Who gives a shit?
Brazil's going to come out looking to just pissed off, and England's going to be like, we don't really give a fuck anymore.
All right. Well, there you have it. This is our official predictions brought to you by the 3 experts here at Vendetta Sports Media. Yeah, dude, we're experts now.
Yeah.
Jerry Walker has given us so much information that we 3. I said 3.
Yeah,
I think it's 2, like half a brain, half a brain. You know what I mean?
That's fair. And honestly, like I'm only operating at like a third of a brain, to be honest. So I'll give you 2/3. Why not?
That's not even true though. Okay, well yeah,
I see 3 experts on screen, so
My boy.
we got it now.
There's brains operating on this thing. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? There was an effort, and 1 made a really great effort, and 2 did their best. And
We
we're here
were here, so we didn't get fined.
I do have a question for you guys regarding this bracket thing in this video. Are we going to do a video after the World Cup and just look at how good or how bad our picks were?
I'm down.
Yeah, fuck it, might as
I think
well.
that would just be entertaining to see how we did.
Yeah,
like
I'm for it.
we could reference it like, oh, I don't know, Garrett. I was pretty right about. Like,
Alex is gonna be like, listen, I picked this team, you guys didn't. Y'all are fucking wrong about that, huh?
I picked Croatia, but somehow we went with Canada.
All right, guys, that is going to be it here with our 2022 FIFA World Cup preview and predictions. For Jerry Walker and the Chickster Alex Chick, my name is Garrett Burroughs. We're going to be signing off here. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you don't miss any more content.